Hey guys, today's video I'm going to be talking about another DBT skill. So the skill that I'm going to be going over today is the Dear Man skill. So Dear Man is a skill that is found in the interpersonal effectiveness section of the DBT handbook, and it's the skill that you use when you want to be really effective in conversations, especially around getting something that you want. So Dear Man is an acronym, so I'm going to go over what each letter means, and then I will be going through an example of how you can use this. So it stands for, I'll say it all at once, and then I'll go through what each of them means. So it stands for describe, express, assert, reinforce, mindful, appear confident, and negotiate. So starting with the first letter, D, which stands for describe, and this is where you just want to describe the current situation. And in this step, it's really important that you stick to just the facts of the situation and you don't talk about your feelings yet. The next letter is E, which stands for express, and this is where you want to express your feelings and opinions about the situation. So this is where you can start to talk about how you feel about what's going on. The next letter is A, which stands for assert, and this is where you want to assert yourself by asking for exactly what it is that you want. And when you're doing this, it's really important to remember that other people can't read your mind, so you need to be really clear when you're asking for what it is that you want. The next letter is R, which stands for reinforce. And in this step, you want to reinforce why it's a good idea for the person to listen to you. So you want to say how it's going to make you feel or what the positive result will be if you end up getting what you want in this situation. Next up, we have the letter M, which stands for mindful. So in this is just kind of how you want to act in the conversation. And so for this, you want to stay mindful of what your goal is. So you don't want to get off topic, you don't want to get sidetracked, and you don't want to give in if the person ends up using personal attacks or does something to try to get you to stop talking about what it is that you're asking about and start a new conversation. So in this, you just really want to stay mindful and stay on topic of what it is that you're asking for. The next letter is A, which stands for appear confident. I always really like this one because you don't actually have to be confident in the situation. You just want to be act like you're confident. So this means you have a good posture, you sit up straight, you make eye contact, and you talk really clearly about what it is that you want in a nice, clear tone. And the final letter is N, which stands for negotiate. So you just want to be willing to kind of give and take a little bit in the conversation and don't stay completely rigid in what you want. Be willing to negotiate with the other person in order to make the conversation go well for both of you. All right, so now that we have gone over what each of the letters mean, I'm going to go through a quick example. So for the example situation, it's going to be that you want your partner to come home for dinner, and they're telling you that they'll be home for dinner, and then they end up showing up really late consistently. So we're going to jump right in. So the first thing that you do is describe. So you would say something like, you told me that you were going to be home by dinner, but you didn't get home until 10 o'clock. And again, so you're just saying exactly what the situation is, and you're not saying anything about your feelings yet. And then when you move to express, this is where you can start to say how you feel. So you can say, it makes me upset when you come home late because I have dinner ready and I would really like to spend time with you and eat dinner with you. The next is assert. So this is where you're going to ask for what you want. So this can look like saying something like, I would really like it if you were to text me when you're going to be late, so that way I know. And then after you say that, you want to reinforce and kind of reward the person for how this is going to be if you get what you want. So you can say something like, it would make me feel so much better if I knew whether or not you were going to be home on time. And this way I'm not worrying about you while you're out. So now moving on to the man part of the acronym, and this is kind of how you should act in the conversation. So to be mindful in a conversation like this would be to, if your partner starts to talk about something else or tries to get you off track, you can say, I would really like to stick to this conversation. This conversation is very important to me, and I would really like you to call me. So you can restate your goal and keep yourself on track. For the A, there's not really anything specific to this example I can say other than what I've already said. So try to appear confident, use a nice, strong tone, but don't yell. don't stare at the floor, try to make eye contact and act like you're really confident about what it is that you want. And then for N, you can negotiate. So if your partner keeps telling you like, I don't want to call you, I don't want to, like, it's fine if I'm late, I don't want to like worry about it, you can say something like, well, this really worries me when I don't know when you're going to be home. So is there something that you think that we can do that would help this situation? So that is it for today's video. I just want to conclude by saying that the Dear Man skill is one of my absolute favorite skills. I've used this skill a lot in conversations, and it's always really helped out. One time in particular that I used it, I remember the other person being like, wow, the way you asked me about this was really like clear and really like helpful. So this skill works really well. You can use it in a variety of situations. You can use it with bosses, with coworkers, with your partner. You can pretty much use this for any conversation that you're going to have where you're going to ask for something that you need. I like to, before I have these kind of conversations that I think are going to be difficult, I like to write out a Dear Man script first, just so I have something to kind of go off of and I'm already thinking about how I'm going to express myself. I hope you guys found this skill really helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments. If you've used this skill, I would also love to hear how you've used it and how it's worked out for you. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.